Hey guys, it's Sekaar, and today we're going to be going over another one of my BowSorc builds. This one's going to be a BowSorc build, so I really hope that you guys enjoy. Before we get started, if you're not subscribed to the channel, please do so. We passed 6,500 subs. Thank you so much for all the support. I really appreciate it. It means the world to me. So guys, let's get started with this. Looking at our character sheet, we are always in Imperial on our BowSorc. I just really like Imperial for the overall reduced cost on it. It makes it so that you don't really need to build into any kind of sustain on BowSorc at all. So I really think that Imperial is the best way to go on here. Also, moving on, our attributes are going to have 31 points into health and 33 points into stam to give us a max magic pool of 15.3, a max health pool of 34k, and a max stam pool of 24.2. Our Mundus is going to be the warrior to increase our weapon damage as much as possible. And we're also going to be having Jewels of Miserable as our food. This is going to increase our max health by 3,400. Also going to increase our stam and magic recovery by 350. And then also we're going to be using Vampire Stage 3 as always. Vampire Stage 3 is huge for your tankiness. The lower health you are, the less damage you take. Moving on to our gear, we're only going to have one piece monster set on this. We can't fit a full monster set on this, so we're going to be using one piece BowSorc. We're going to be using a medium Divine Shoulder. That way we can increase our weapon and spell damage with that one piece. And then one of the 5 pieces that we're using is going to be Wave the Fire. This is going to be in the heavy reinforced piece for our helmet. Wave the Fire is a great set. They said that they were going to, I apologize. They said they were going to nerf it, but they did not. It still works completely as intended. Helmet of Fire is going to give you weapon and spell damage, max stam, crit chance, and when you deal damage with a weapon, you're going to be dealing an additional 2,904 flame damage, and that can occur once every 2 seconds. So they said that they were going to change it so that it no longer applies on weapon dots, but it still does. I tested it out myself and it still works just the same. They didn't change anything about it. So Helmet of the Fire, Wave the Fire, all of that is still just as strong as it was last patch. So we're still using it on this build as well. Moving on to our chest piece, Wave the Fire on our front bar as well, heavy reinforced. And then also our last Wave the Fire as our body piece is going to be our legs, heavy reinforced as well. Our other 5 piece set is going to be on our front bar. It's going to be Shattered Fate. It is a 5, 10, 12 piece. We're only using 5 pieces of it. That would increase our offensive pen by 7,733. We're going to be using medium well-fitted hands. We're also going to be using Shattered Fate as our waist piece in the light well-fitted as well. And also medium Shattered Fate for our feet in medium well-fitted as well. And then for our jewelry, we're going to be using Wave the Fire. For our necklace, we're going to be using Bloodthirsty with a weapon and spell damage enchantment on it. Our other jewelry is going to be Ring of the Fire as well with Bloodthirsty as well, weapon and spell damage enchantment on it. And also for your mythic on this, you're going to be using Markin in the Bloodthirsty trait with a weapon and spell damage enchantment on it. Markin is going to give you 200 weapon and spell damage, and then also 2314 armor, so it increases your damage and increases your tankiness. Then your front bar weapon is going to be a Shattered Fate bow in the Sharpen trait with increased weapon and spell damage enchantment on it. We're using Sharpen because our pen is going through the roof with Shattered Fate and then Sharpen. If you look back at your character sheet, we're at 12.6k pen at all times. So your penetration is through the absolute roof on this. You are just chunking people's health bars. Moving on, back bar is going to be a Master's Perfected bow in the Infused trait with a increased weapon and spell damage enchantment on it. I don't really need both increased weapon and spell damage enchantments on it. I could probably switch one of those, but I'm gonna be honest, I didn't realize until now. So that just means my damage could get even better on this. Hell yeah, that's awesome, 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 awesome. So Infused because that way increases your weapon damage procs at all times. So what Masters does is the Perfected line gives you an extra 103 weapon and spell damage, and then the 2 piece of it is increases your weapon and spell damage by 330 against targets that are affected by your poison arrow. It's a skill that we're using anyway, so this increases your damage as much as possible. And then moving on to our skills. Our front bar is going to be Bound Ornaments. They changed this slightly this patch, and it's awesome. They made it so that you do not need to activate this ability to start gaining stacks. So it is a just complete passive ability that once you gain a stack, you're ready to go. It is really cool. The amount of damage that you can weave with this is really nice as well. And overall, this is going to be a nice staple on a lot of builds now with this nice quality of life buff. I think it's a very nice skill now, and I definitely recommend trying it out. Moving on, we're going to be using Camouflage Hunter as our second skill. This is basically just so that we have Major Savagery and Prophecy at all times, so it's going to increase our weapon spell crit by 2,600. You're also going to be getting Minor Berserk for 5 seconds after dealing critical damage from an enemy's flank, so always try to do damage from the flank. And then also Crystal Weapon. This is a nice the amount of damage you could just output with this by doing Crystal Weapon into a bow light attack. You are just doing so much damage at all times, and to be able to weave that is insane amounts of damage. I've gotten this thing to about, I think, 9k as my tooltip when I'm fully buffed up in Cyrodiil, so overall, it's a great ability to weave between all of your other abilities. And then Streak, this is going to be a multifaceted skill. It's going to be a great way to engage into a fight and to disengage. It's also a nice stun, so whenever you're getting your whenever your enemy's getting low health and you can finish the kill off, hit him with that Streak combo and you can hit him with a lot of damage as they're still stunned. I had an extra slot on this build as well, so I put Haunting Curse in this place, and being able to line up my burst properly with Haunting Curse is really solid. Been doing a lot of damage, especially if you could time it correctly with your other skills. It's a nice way to line up your burst. And then Ballista is our front bar ultimate. My tooltip business is really nice. It gets a lot higher too. This one's up to 58,000 unbuffed, and it's just a really great skill. I know that the other morph does a little bit more damage, but I like to hit this. I like to hit Ballista as I'm hitting Bound Ornaments, then hit Crystal Weapon with a Streak. That combo, when you're hitting somebody and stunning them, along with Ballista, in my opinion, that's more damage than your other ability will ever be able to do. So being able to use other abilities because you could just place that on the ground and just hit him, I love it. It's a great way to just put so much damage onto your enemy at once. I love it so much. Our back bar is going to be Crit Surge. This is going to be your source of major brutality and sorcery. So this is going to increase your weapon spell damage by 20%. On top of that, also dealing critical damage. It's going to heal you for 3,366 health. And that can occur once every 1 second. So you're doing a lot of critical damage on this build. You're putting a lot of damage out at once and just over time. So this is a great way to just keep your healing up as much as possible. Your Crit Surge is giving you a lot of healing. And then moving on, Hurricane. This is going to be our source of major resolve. So this is going to increase your physical and spell resistance by 6k. Also, it's going to give you minor expedition. So it's going to increase your movement speed by 15%. Now, on top of that, you're also going to be putting a nice little AoE around you. It doesn't do the most amount of damage, but if you're on top of people, your damage could crit. And it could be just your source of healing from Crit Surge. So I will take any source of damage that I can get on this build, and that's just an extra source, so I like it a lot. And then Resolving Vigor, this is going to be your nice little 5-second heal over time. On top of that, you're also going to get minor resolve, so it's going to increase your physical and spell resistance by 3k for 20 seconds. We're coming to the end of the talking. I talk a lot in this little span, so yeah. Anyways, moving on. Dark Deal is going to be your next skill. This is going to be your nice source of sustain for your stam and health. You're going to sacrifice magic and you're going to give up magic, and you're going to get stam and health in return. So it's a nice little burst heal if you could time it properly. On top of that, you're also going to be getting Minor Berserk and Minor Force for 10 seconds. So it's going to increase your damage done by 5% and your critical damage done by 10%. So that's huge for your damage. And then Poison Injection, this is going to be what's buffing your Master's. It's going to be buffed by your Master's bow on your back bar. Also, this dot is going to be proccing Wave the Fire every 2 seconds as well. So this is a very vital part of this build. That dot is huge, and overall your damage is going to be a lot higher on any enemy that has your Poison Injection on them. This is the cornerstone of the build. Make sure that you are starting your fights off with having this on your enemies. Your damage is going to go up from there. And then also Summon Charge Atro. I like this on the back bar a lot. It's a nice little AoE presence, and honestly, it's a great little... It does so many different skills in one. It's great for clearing out ads. It's great for just putting down just something in the middle that you might need to kite around. It's just a lot of damage that a lot of people don't that they just sleep on as well. So that damage on there is nuts. I really do like it a lot. And on top of that, a little passive that, you know, really helps a lot by having it on both bars. Where is it? Increases your health and stamina recovery by 20% if you have a Daedric summoning ability slotted. So you don't have an ability slotted on your back bar besides this. So it's increasing your stamina recovery a lot just by having that on your bar as well. So don't sleep on that either. And then finally, our champion points, our blue slottables are going to be Deadly Aim, Ironclad, Mastered Arms, and Wrathful Strikes. Our red slottables are going to be Pain's Refuge, Sustained by Suffering, Survival Instincts, and Celerity. And our green tree, the only things that we really care about are Breakfall, Fashioner, and Liquid Efficiency. And that is the entire build, guys. I really hope you enjoyed. I also use tripods as well, so make sure that you're using those. But guys, that is the entire build. I really hope that you guys enjoy. A few last announcements before we get on to the footage part of the build video. If you guys are not subscribed to the channel, please do so. Yeah, it is free, and we just passed 6,500 subscribers. So guys, with all of your guys' help who are not subscribed, we can move on to that 7K mark, and that'd be really, really awesome. I am completely at the mercy of you guys, so if you guys want to do that for me, that'd be the biggest favor that you could do me. I would highly appreciate it. Two or three more quick announcements depending on how I feel at the end of it. We have a second YouTube channel as well for all of you guys that are subscribed to my channel and still want to help support me in a way. I have a second YouTube channel for just my VODs. We can get that monetized at 1,000 subscribers, and we're at almost 400. So if you guys want to go and subscribe to that, I would highly, highly, highly appreciate that. It's my Twitch VODs. The link will be in the description. Please go and subscribe to that. Just clicking that and just subscribing to that is another free form of support that you guys can give me. Also, if you like TikTok videos, I started up a TikTok recently. We just passed 100 followers on there, so that link will also be in the description. All my links are going to be in the description, so if you guys see anything that you're not following me on, please go do so. That's going to include my Twitch link as well. If you're not following my Twitch, please do so. We just passed 9,000. We're about to hit 10,000 followers on Twitch soon. That is bonkers to me. That's insane. That's a huge number. So guys, thank you so much. That's the last of my announcements. Let's get on with the footage for this build. Thank you guys so much for watching until the end, and I will see you guys on the next video. Later.
screen.